I didn't actually plan to talk about this, but I may as well talk about this. Ysera, the Winter Queen, the sister, all of that. Chris, no. It might not be Elune. It might be someone that no one even thought about. And that's what I want to talk about. So let's start with the thing that has raised more questions than I think any other cinematic we've ever seen. And it's a small part of the cinematic that's raised almost all of the fucking questions.
My queen, please help us.
This is of my sister. Why have you brought it to me?
This one is slipping away.
This is of my sister. Okay, that line, that one little line, literally got everyone in a fucking flat spin. All of us went, whoa, her sister? What's she talking about? Who is her sister? And we've come up with a bazillion different things that it could possibly be. It could be Elune. It could be A&R. It could maybe be someone else. Who in the hell is her sister? So I said Elune, because Elune was the one who raised Ysera, right, and took her into Ardenweald. So this being of my sister means this is my sister brought this in. Why the hell am I the one having to take care of it? Why is this my job? Other people said no, clearly it has to be A&R. A&R created Ysera, and to that I say you're wrong. A&R did not create Ysera. The Dragonflight was created by the Watchers, the constructs, the creations of the Titans. They were the ones who created the Dragonflights. They then told the Dragonflights to tell the story that they were made by the Titans from Galakrond, but they were not made by the Titans. It is then said that A&R bestowed her power upon Ysera so that Ysera could dream and enter the Emerald Dream. But A&R did not create Ysera. It was Freya that created Ysera. Freya, I believe it was Freya, and I can't remember the other Watcher. Two Watchers. They were involved in the creation of the Dragonflights. Not A&R. As far as my recollection of the lore goes, and I'm fully aware that there might be moments that I've missed. There's too much lore and I only have one brain. So if I knew everything, I probably wouldn't have space to know anything else. But as far as my recollection goes, A&R at the most interacted with Ysera once, if at all. And since then, never again. A&R and Ysera has never discussed or conversed with each other again. One of the other reasons I believed for a short time that it may have been Elune is because of what Ysera represents to the Night Elves. There is a very close relationship between the Night Elves and Ysera. More importantly, there is a very close relationship between the Night Elves and Elune. Okay? But I have now changed my mind. I no longer believe that this is Elune. And I'm going to listen to it again. And you want to know why I'm going to listen to it again? Because the way the Winter Queen says, this is of my sister. Why did you bring it? Why have you brought it to me? Is perhaps some of the greatest voice acting ever. The way she says it is just amazing.
My queen, please help us.
This is of my sister. Why have you brought it to me?
This one is slipping away.
Our duty is grim.
Who was she talking about? Let's put this to the side. Let's get ready. The dragons, the dragon flights were created from one entity. They come from one entity. Their powers effectively revolve around one entity. Their creation was in service of a single entity, Azeroth. If Ysera is the child of anyone, she is a child of Azeroth. If Ysera is from anyone, she is from Azeroth. So what happened? What happened and why? Now, in order for this to make sense, let us look to what the Titans told Sargeras they discovered. When they happen upon Sargeras cleaving planets in half and using the demons to do so, they confront him and they tell him that they have discovered a Titan more powerful than anything they have seen before. They've never seen a Titan this powerful. They were talking about Azeroth. If I'm correct, then the next part of this theory becomes truly amazing. Azeroth sacrificed herself to ensure that the Banished One will never get his hands on his ultimate power. Azeroth is an eternal one of the Shadowlands. She was the one who took control of the soul of the Banished One. That thing, that hole in his chest that is currently empty, the reason the Titans saw Azeroth as this super powerful being and the super powerful entity is because she literally has two souls inside of her. She is herself a Titan, and alongside her lies the literal soul of her brother. This might also be why the artifacts of the first ones responded to us. Because Azeroth was one of the first ones, one of the, not first ones, eternal ones that made that built that. Now, before you go, Akalon, there's no chance, this is never going to happen. That's just bullshit. There's a couple of things that I want to point out here. Zuval states in his own words, death comes for the soul of your world. Why does Azeroth bother him so much? Why is Azeroth an issue for him? His issue seemingly is with his brothers and sisters in the eternal ones of the Shadowlands. Why is Azeroth something he wants? His servant in the pre-patch campaign, I can't remember her name, Demora or something like that, the Morsworn. The Morsworn says that the jailer will claim what was once his. Sire Denathrius says that the jailer will claim what once belonged to him. It was his, and it was taken from him. His soul being missing, that's clear as day. There's something that should be there that isn't there. But now we get to the even bigger parts of this story. The things that to me is even more impactful. We are told by the Void that the King of Diamonds have been made a pawn. A pawn by whom? And for what purpose? Previously, we argued that maybe they were talking about Azeroth. Azeroth being completely corrupted by the Void, and therefore Azeroth now giving Magni all the answers to make the Void win. If you think about everything that Magni did, everything Magni did at the behest of Azeroth led to the escape of N'Zoth. He literally made N'Zoth free. It's because of him that N'Zoth was free. And if it wasn't for us and our valiant attempt against N'Zoth, N'Zoth would have won. So, was it truly Azeroth that was whispering to Magni? Especially since the Void tells us that the King of Diamonds have been made a pawn. But again, it can't be that the old gods made him a pawn. Because how would that work exactly? How did the old gods manage to give Magni the exact tools that would be required to destroy them in the first place? See, none of those fit. Bar one. And yes, someone earlier in chat said this is complete headcanon. Well, that's sort of what we do on this channel. If you want a channel that just does the lore, Noble is a very good channel for that. If you want headcanon and complete speculation, this is where you want to be. Because this is where we jump into what the story could potentially be, not what it is. Because what it is, we all know what it is. And that's boring. We want to know what it could be. That's what's interesting. What if Azerite has nothing to do with Azeroth? We've all been asking this. Why did Sargeras stab Azeroth? Why did he wait so long to stab Azeroth? Sargeras literally having his hands on Frostmourne and on the Helm of Domination, two weapons that the jailer made, the ultimate secrets of the first ones, things that he wanted on Azeroth. We now know that he wanted it on Azeroth because he needed it to be there so that he could get free. So all of these things Sargeras played into his hands. Everything that Sargeras did led to the jailer getting what he wanted. Why did Sargeras wait so long around Azeroth? If you look at that cinematic, Sargeras is enveloping Azeroth by the time we start the fight with Argus. When we arrive on the Pantheon, we can already see Sargeras enveloping Azeroth. At any point in time, Sargeras could pop up, slash Azeroth in half, and be done with it. GG, thanks for playing, he's done it before. Sargeras have cleaved planets in half, and yet he does not do that with Azeroth. Instead, he stabs Azeroth with a sword that could very easily be sort of looked at as a Mournblade. Just want to point that out. Why did Sargeras do that? What if Azerite is in fact Zuval's soul? The essence of Zuval? What if it was Zuval that whispered to Sylvanas and Anduin? Remember, in Before the Storm, both Anduin and Sylvanas holds the Azerite, and they both see visions. The Azerite whispers to them. Sylvanas sees a vision of her conquering everything, ruling over the universe, ruling over the world, effectively. Why would Azeroth show Sylvanas that vision? What if all of it, everything that happened up until now, was Zuval? This is why he says, death comes for the soul of your world, my soul. So here's what I think it happened. In my own mind, here is what I think happened. I think after they defeated Zuval and they banished him to the Maw, they ripped his soul from his body, the very thing that would give him access to slipping through the relics of the first ones, the very thing that would allow the relics to respond to him, that would give him the ability to leave. They took that away from him. But we all know how scared they are of Zuval. They know that if he gets free, if he gets to full power, it's over. There's nothing you can do. He is too powerful. What if Azeroth sacrificed herself? What if she said, I will be my brother's keeper? I will take his soul. I will take his soul into the great beyond, and there I will go to sleep. Just out of reach. So now you have sort of a double prison. You have Zuval captured within the maw, and all of the Shadowlands zones keeping him captured within the maw. You have his soul, the very thing that he would need in order to regain full power, is beyond the veil. So there is even more of a prison there. Because outside of that, what makes sense? Why is Azeroth so closely related to the Shadowlands and yet not in the Shadowlands? Not seemingly part of the Shadowlands. Why is Azeroth more powerful than any Titan that they've ever seen? Any Titan that they've ever come across? Why is the Jailer? There's 3 things that we know factually the Jailer wants to kill. Only 3. It is stated by the denizens of Erebos, if the Jailer gets free, he will instantly go to kill the Winter Queen, and after that he will go to kill the Arbiter. And thanks to the Mora, we learn that he will definitely go to claim Azeroth. Those are the 3 beings that Zuval is most interested in. So it stands to reason that those 3 beings must be in possession of something that Zuval wants. Something that once belonged to him. Why would Azeroth be in possession of anything that once belonged to Zuval? It simply does not make sense. Unless she was once one of them. Now, of course, that's just my theory. And there's more that we could go into along these lines. There's more that we could discuss along these lines. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that that is one of the theories that makes almost every other theory fall into place. And this is one of those theories that I sort of, yes, they're headcanon, but I usually base theories on what answers do a theory provide. So whenever I do a theory, whenever I come up with a theory, I ask myself, what answers does this theory provide? And then I look at the questions that exist right now in the lore, and I say, okay, can this theory answer most or all of the questions that I currently have in relation to this subject? And in my mind, this theory covers all of those questions. It answers all of them. All we now need is the in-between. We need to cover that which is not known to us right now. I could be very wrong. I fully admit that. I'm okay with that even. I just think this could be amazing. From a normal story perspective, I think this could be absolutely amazing. The fact that it is us that's so important to the Jailer. The fact that he sent his helm and his sword to Azeroth. Very specifically, he wanted Azeroth. Sargeras and Zuval is aligned in what they want to do. If you go read why Sargeras did the things that he did, and you go read what Zuval is doing and why he's doing it, it's the same purpose. They both want the same things. Why was Azeroth the most important thing for all of them? And could Azeroth be the sepulchre? A burial place? A grave for his soul? Perhaps? What do you think?